listening to the LOZ Podcast Network.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the LOZ Podcast Network. My name is Ken Lawler. I am the developer of the LOZ app and the LOZ Podcast Network. And today we are on Coves and Keys. And Coves and Keys is a show we have in the app that deals with all the real estate at the lake. And as you know, this market is crazy. There's a lot of things you have to know if you're going to buy or sell here at Lake of the Ozarks. And so we try to bring experts on to talk about that and give you a little bit of a heads up. And so I'm really excited today because we have Jessica Bruce from Bruce and Kelly. Let's get her on the show. Jessica, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you today?
Welcome to Coves and Keys.
Hey, thanks for having me.
That's awesome.
These would be better, Ken, if they were on a boat. We can call it boats and keys.
You know what? Maybe I need to move this podcast to a boat. That might be a good idea. I think I'll look into that once the weather gets nice, because today it's not a great day to be out there. But
no. So you just call me for all your good ideas.
I will definitely have you. You're now on the board. So tell me a little bit about how you got to Lake of the Ozarks. Were you born here? Did you move here? How'd you get here?
Right. How did I get here? Well, I met a boy in college. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Yep. That's how it goes. Let's see. I'm originally born and raised in Kansas, a small town in Kansas, country kid, actually, country gal. Anyways, and then I have been a KU Jayhawk fan since like the time I was really little, right? My whole family there, everybody else for the most part is K-State because they're big ag school and everything, but not me. I was always a rebel. So I knew I wanted to go to KU since I was about 5. And I did. KU's my alma mater. Went there and I met my now husband, Ron Bruce, while I was there naturally. And I graduated KU in 2008 with a business and finance degree. So 2008 was a terrible time to have.
Right. I remember that year. It was not a good year.
Really quite terrible. I made more money bartending and like cocktail waitressing downtown on the plaza than any of my friends who were getting out of school. So anyways, Ron convinced me to move to Lake of the Ozarks because his dad had moved here years ago in the 90s and started Eagle Security Electronics. And so I thought, okay, I'll move down there. How long could we possibly stay?
Right.
Maybe a few years. Yeah. Turns out forever. So
well, your skills as a bartender were probably well served here at the lake, right? I mean, everybody needs that here. So did you go into real estate right away, or was it something where you tried a few things out and just kind of stumbled into it? How'd you get into real estate?
So my dad is a commercial lender back in Kansas, and when I got out of school at a KU, I did just bartend and waitress for a few years because it was a terrible time to enter the job market. And then I was working on my real estate license, and I wanted to sell commercial real estate. And I didn't realize at Lake of the Ozarks, there is no commercial real estate. So.
Right. There's some, but it's not like a normal market. Right.
And so I quickly realized I would have to sell residential here at the lake. And I thought, sure, why not? Anyways, turns out I'm very chatty, so it worked out well for me.
And did you get with RE/MAX right away when you started in real estate? Was that your first?
No. I started at a little place they're not even here anymore called Lake Partners Real Estate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a blast from the past.
That is a blast from the past. So I started with them, Bob Reisky, Jamie Estes, Jack Tezak, many moons ago, so many other people in there. And then I actually went from there to, it was Prudential at the time. Sue Spica and Marty Gum owned it. And then Prudential got bought out by Berkshire Hathaway. So I was Berkshire Hathaway for a few years. And I don't know what it was about RE/MAX, but I moved over. Golly, I'd have to think about that. 8?
Don't date yourself now. Just take a guess.
More than 5, less than 10. How about that?
There we go.
Years ago. And anyways, started a team. I've been at RE/MAX ever since. So.
Yeah, and it's funny. We have had several. In fact, I just had Jason Whittle on the show last week, and
cool.
We've had a lot of different RE/MAX owners on here, and I just am always amazed. we're all competitive. I know you're competitive. I'm competitive. We want to win every time, right?
Every time.
Every time.
Every time.
But what's interesting about that whole Remax family is you guys really cheer each other on, even if it's not on your team and somebody does something well, or there's
Yeah.
awards out there. It's such a cool culture over
Mhm.
there with so many competitors, right? I mean, there's
Yeah.
hundreds of, but you guys are really supportive of each other. I mean, it's a cool atmosphere.
We really are. And that's you don't realize it until I came to Remax. I thought, oh yeah, right. But they really are. Everyone is so nice and helpful. You know, I can walk into any office anytime and they're going to help me out, whether it's like Jason Whittleson or an agent or staff or anything, and vice versa. So it's really it's just a good spot to be. And it's not what you think. It's a great spot. And Jeff and Jason do a really great job leading, the team and all the chaos. So I don't know how they do it, but they're doing a great job. They brought in a guy, Casey Collins from Nebraska a couple years ago. He's doing a good job too. He's real personable. So they manage it somehow, but I don't know how.
Well, and it's what's crazy is the lake market has, I don't know, 4 million realtors, at last count. But I mean, there's so many people here, but Remax stands out. I mean, you guys have just, if you come to the lake and you don't see a Remax sign, or you don't talk to somebody from, I mean, it's really prevalent here at the lake. And I know that even within Remax, you guys are moving around, and you partnered up with Jane Kelly a couple years ago that you did that.
Probably, I think we're going on 3 now. It's
Yeah,
been about
3 years ago. So
a while.
how
Yeah.
did that come about? I mean, that's a big merger. I mean,
Right? Yeah, I know. I tell you, when Jane Kelly calls, you answer the phone. So,
right.
anyways, how blue, she called me and she said, "Hey, I'm thinking I don't want to retire. Jane's not retired, that's for sure. Jane can sell 10 million on a golf course on a Tuesday in Florida, right? And she can do
Right.
it. No problem. Just no problem. She'll die selling real estate. She'll be like, before you put me in the coffin, just
One more deal.
one anyway, so she called me and she said, "Hey, I want to slow down a little bit, spend a little more time in Florida. I've been doing it a long time. Would you have interest in partnering and, essentially just buying my book of business?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I probably have some interest in that." So we met for lunch and just kind of started chatting, and eventually it was a good fit for her and I. And anyway, so the rest is history. Probably a glass of wine or two, and then there we go. And we've been partnered ever since. So
The Paradise Hunters. I love that too. I love that tagline.
I don't remember who came up with that, but I thought it was pretty good. So, but yeah, and Jane, not only is Jane great, but the staff that she had with her and agents alongside, I had agents and staff as well. And naturally, when you merge that many ladies, there's some, it's a couple rocky moments, but
Do you think?
yeah, just a few. But it turned out just fine. And again, just the knowledge that a lot of them have that my agents had too. It was just a really good. We built a really good team, and I've definitely learned a lot from all of them. Hopefully, they've learned something from me. Probably had to cuss more. I don't know.
I'm sure. I'm sure you brought a lot to the show for them. That's
Uh,
the lake market is such a different market. I mean, you came from Kansas City. I came from St. Louis. When you get to the city and you look at real estate, it's so different than it is down here.
yeah,
You have to be an expert on everything. You have to be an expert on homes, docks, seawalls, water levels,
yeah,
septic tanks. I mean, all the things that you normally probably don't have to deal with when you're in the big city.
yeah.
What do you see is one of the bigger mistakes people make when they're coming to the lake looking for real estate? Like, if people come into this lake, they come in, they have a great weekend. They're loving the whole vibe. They want to buy a place. And they run in. What are some of the things that you would tell people? Hey, stop and look around a little bit and make sure you look at this.
One is definitely look at the homes in person. I do think for the most part, people do look at homes in person. So this message is probably for the younger, generation in their 20s and stuff, which they're not typically buying second homes at 20.
Right.
But yeah, there's something about seeing property in person, so you have to go see it. You can't just look online and click a couple buttons. There's a feeling, and there's a feeling of walking through the house, looking at the neighbors. Homes have smells, so smell all of them as well. And again, you just can't tell the layout of the feel of the home unless you go and see it. Same, you can't tell the lake view or a flatter level, driveway or some crazy driveway or anything like that. So just go see the home in person. Um, and then the second thing is buy the lot first. And that means find the location and the waterfront and the view and the deep water, things like that first, and then look at the house. You can change anything about the house, right? You can change paint color and carpet and layouts and any of that. So find the location that you want on the water, because then you'll love it.
That's great advice because I mean, and this lake is so big and so small at the same time. But if you enjoy serene and you want to take your bass boat out fishing, and you want to, sit and just hear the birds and watch the fish jump, don't buy on the 11-mile marker. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to understand where you're at on the lake and what happens.
Yep.
Not only what happens during the week, but what happens on the weekends, right? Because I always tell people it's a two different lakes. It's a lake from
Yeah.
Thursday night through Sunday morning, and from Sunday through Thursday. It's completely different lake. You
Yep.
have to,
Right.
for most people, it's one of their biggest investments they're going to make.
Mhm.
And I think you're right with people who are shopping online. That was kind of a phenomenon over COVID, that people were just buying things online because they were so anxious to get somewhere and to do something. And unfortunately, I mean, I think some people, and not everybody, I mean, some people got in and got great deals, whatever, but I think some people are maybe a little trapped in something that they wish they would have spent some more time on.
Yeah.
And you see that every day, like, okay, I want to move now that I'm here. I want to go to the actual part of the lake that I want to go to. So I need to sell this house that I bought at the top dollar. I didn't really look at it that much, and I want you to make money for me on it. And you're like,
Yep.
that doesn't always work.
Yeah. Real estate's a long-term investment. Just saying.
Yeah.
But no, I would agree. And you have to have patience when you're purchasing property, that's for sure. So you definitely want to have patience. But at the same time, you also don't want to wait forever. If you start getting into 2 or 3 years and you're still looking at property trying to find the one, you're never going to find it. You've seen all of the inventory come on and off in 2 or 3 years. Like, you've missed it, and prices have gone up. And even when it was really crazy in 2020, 21, and 22, average price of lakefront home has still increased significantly since those years. I actually had the stats in front of me.
Oh my goodness, you actually have numbers. That is awesome. We love it when the guest has numbers.
I'm a numbers gal. You give me a spreadsheet of numbers, count me in. So here's some interesting numbers for you. In March of 2020, the average sale price of a home was $361,000. Okay.
Okay.
In 2021, it was $560,000.
Oh my God. Now that jump doesn't happen very often, does it? It's
not very often.
That's an anomaly.
That was pretty crazy. In 22, it was $635,000. In 23, it dropped down just slightly to $595,000. In 24, despite what everybody said, it went up. It went up to $777,000 average price. And in 2025, do you feel that we've gone up or down?
All right, I feel like we might have gone down a little bit. We went up? What is it?
811,000. 811,975 is the average price. And I can't remember as I pulled these stats. I think that's waterfront. So the average waterfront home, if you're trying to purchase a waterfront home here at Lake of the Ozarks today, the average price you're going to pay is $811,975. That is up. That's the highest March we've ever seen on record in the past 10 years. So,
and if you look at that 5-year trend, you're talking about it going up. What is that? 145% in 5 years. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I think that's you do have people that are out there saying, I'm going to wait for this market to bust. I'm going to wait for it to drop. Well, the problem is, even if it does bust a little bit, it's going to only bust down by $100,000. You're still double of where you would have been if you would have bought 5 years ago.
Correct.
And that's the thing that I think, for most people, they can invest in a lot of things. Real estate at this lake seems to be a pretty safe bet that it's going to go up. And I'm not saying you're going to make $1 million on everything, but you're not going to get caught. You're not going to get in that situation where if, like, for instance, if you're down in Florida right now, I mean, the amount of for sale signs in Florida on beachfront is like an all-time high.
Wow.
And, but the lake doesn't seem to get affected like that. It's not one of those markets that it's kind of, you get people that come in, they find the lot they like. There's not that many of them left. I mean, there's not a lot of open lots left. So
they really are not. So, well, and this is Midwest money, so this is earned money. Buyers, for the most part, in this area, and sellers, those that own their property, they made their money. They earned it. It wasn't handed to them. They didn't get it gifted to them. They worked hard. They built their own companies. They bought their own companies and then built them up and everything like that. So it's money that was earned, and Midwesterners typically are pretty conservative for the most part. So they had the ability to purchase these generally in cash. And if it's a down market like a 2008 sort of situation, they'll just hold it. They know the market will eventually come back up. So they just don't sell. And they wait. That's why we never see, crazy price drops or foreclosures or anything on the waterfront. It's because you've got hard-earned Midwest conservative money. That's who's holding property at Lake of the Ozarks. And that's a pretty good place to park your money, because everybody's like-minded and we're not all going to go down in the tank together. So
what are you seeing with the condos? Is it similar in the condo market? I mean, are they holding up pretty well?
Condos have, I don't know if I have condo stats specifically. Dang, I should have brought them. We have seen an increase in condo units, but that's condos usually, people want waterfront homes first. If you can't buy a home, then maybe a villa. Can't buy a villa, then maybe the condo. So we're seeing more inventory on those. Condos did take a little bit of hit in regards to insurance. Not only did homes, but condos did as well. Insurers really, you guys, you give us.
The HOAs are I mean, it's getting crazy. I mean, they
and some of
now
it, there's nothing they can do. It's the insurance agents, came through and one of these astronomical policies, or they wouldn't insure. I think some of it has to do with Florida, like the buildings, that collapsed and things like that. So it's not necessarily our area, but they're seeing the repercussions of it. So
yeah, it affects everything.
That was the tough part on condos. So, but on the flip side, condos are easy. If you don't want to spend $811,000 to buy a waterfront home, you can get into a condo pretty cheap. And the thing too to remember about the HOAs and your monthly fee is, yes, it seems high, but you don't have any other bills. Usually you have an electric bill that's like $7, when you're not here, per month. So, someone's taking care of the pest control and the cable internet and the flowers out front and the road and the insurance, and they're managing the budget, and they're doing all those things so that you don't have to. So that's what's wrapped up in there.
Yeah, and I mean, I've owned a home on the water with a pool, and the pool alone, the cost to run my pool for the summer equaled any condo fee I would have paid. It's like there's just so much you have to do with the home. And so, yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, if you're paying $500, $600, $700 a month for a condo, that's just gonna, you would have had that times 4 if you were trying to pay for a home and all those kind of expenses. So
and again, you're not doing it, so you don't have to do any of it, right? You just come down, bring your bag, hang out by the pool, get on your boat, have cocktails and drinks, leave, call your housekeeper, right? Like, hey, can you clean it for me? I'll be back down in a few weeks. So they're so easy. It's an easy way to be on the water. Usually you get really good views too, because a lot of the condos sit on like points or out front. So you get these amazing views of Lake of the Ozarks. Again, the pool, and just not all a headache. So just my 2 cents on condos.
Well, let's talk about some of your specific featured listings. We've got some of those loaded in today. So I am going to pull up here. This is 90 Nonsuch Road. Tell me a little bit about this one.
That one is, okay, that is just a super cute waterfront lake home. So I tried to do some highs and lows. I picked our most cost-effective waterfront home that you could purchase. Actually, it's not a home. I think it's a condo. And then non-centrist kind of in the middle. And then everybody wants to see luxury, so I brought you some luxury too. But non-centrist just down Horseshoe Bend. You're tucked in a cove, but you've got really good views of the main channel as well. Pretty easy parking. It's not too big, not too small, so it'd be a really easy lake home to maintain. You're not getting into that high price. I think you can pick this one up in the high 600 range. You have your own private dock. That's not too many steps from the water in that photo there. I know it may seem like a lot, but I've seen a lot more. You've got a really nice dock, concrete, too well. You got a little swim platform there. So not too much to not like about Nonsense Road.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, and the nice part is, looks like it's in a really nice cove, and it's got a lot of space. You're not right up against another dock there. I mean, they got some room to swim off the swim platform. That's cool.
yeah, yeah. So that'd be a good one to check out. Again, that's a nice one to just come down, get in. Maybe it's your first starter lake home because again, it's not too big, not too small. You still hang. You've got a great dock, all the things. So
Let's go to 51 Damsville Road.
now we're getting into the luxury.
That is a beautiful home. I love that garage door, by the way. That garage door is so cool.
It is cool. The front door, you can't tell, but the front door is amazing. It pivots. It's on a swivel, so when you open it, it like pivots around. It's
Just
so
like a
cool.
big piece of glass just
Yeah,
coming
the
at it.
door rotates. Yeah, and the owner of this one, they designed it, hand designed it. Pretty much in any room that you're in 51 Damsel, you can see the water and you have stunning 180-degree views. You're sitting on what would that be? The northwest side of a whole point. And it's just glass everywhere you go.
Oh,
You,
they got my refrigerator.
yeah,
Oh
you've got
man, I want that refrigerator.
fridge freezer combo. You can't tell, but that's a little walk-in pantry back there. It's a hidden surprise. Even the pantry has a view. So, um,
That's awesome.
yeah, it's really set up. It's really cool down here. You've got the photo of the lower level. So when
Wow.
you come down those stairs, you're just greeted with this huge wall of windows looking out. And the bar, as you're sitting up there on the bar, you're looking out over the pool, lakeside. It's got a kegerator, pool table, shuffleboard. They really tricked this home out. It is super cool. It's one of my favorite luxury homes that I've ever gotten to list over the years. Low maintenance. The pool's not huge. So again, you're not having all the maintenance in a home, but it's quite stunning. So if
That's the
you're the
perfect size pool just to dip in and cool
yeah,
off, and you don't have like
yep.
spend a week cleaning it.
Yes, yeah, it's so easy to maintain, and the landscaping is gorgeous. So those, if I recall, don't hold me to it, but I think they're big limestone rocks all throughout. You can't tell from here, but it's got these beautiful big rock steps that go from the home down to that golf cart path and all the way around. So it's a really stunning home. I'm shocked no one has picked it up yet because it just has all the fun things. It's way tricked out. It's not too big, not too small, just an easy one to maintain, take care of, and killer views.
It's
Killer.
gorgeous. I mean, it's a gorgeous home.
Yep, yep, yep. So,
Tell me a little about 705 Regency Cove.
oh, this is another good one. Okay. Regency Cove is just a really coveted cove. We've had many buyers, sellers, homeowners in there. Everyone always loves Regency. Your cove location, you're about halfway down Horseshoe Bend. Great spot on the water and stunning homes. All of the homes in there are just stunning. This one is it's massive. So this is the home that you purchase if you've got a lot of friends and family and you entertain a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you need places to put everybody.
Yeah, this is the home for you. It has tons of bedrooms. They're all really good size. You've got some really cool hangout areas in the upper level and the lower level. Not a whole lot of steps down to the dock. It's really built for entertaining, as you can see, with the dual oven, large kitchen. It feels larger than this photo
It
when you're
looks brand new too. I mean, this house
yeah.
looks like it's brand new.
The way it's been meticulously maintained as well. That's the lower level. It's so fun down there. You've got a really fun bar. That back room that you can kind of see is like a really cool game room so that you can play poker, hang with the guys, all the things. It's a stunning home. It's really set up for entertaining. See your like flat level walkout out into your dock. Coves
That's like there's no steps
I
to the
know.
lake on that. That is amazing.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that. So, great home. You have dual garages, circle drive. It doesn't get much better than Regency as well. So, it's another great one to look at if you're in the luxury market. So,
And let's talk a little bit about 1603 Grandview.
ooh, okay. Oh gosh, all my fun favorite listings. This
This
one,
is gorgeous. I mean,
yeah.
is this brand new or is this
This is yep, brand new construction. And you can't tell from here, but it has dual garages. So you can this side, that side. Really oversized garages on both epoxy floor. So all your toys, everybody that comes down here, they usually have the fun toys to go with it, the classic cars or motorcycles and things. So
Mhm.
this you actually have the space to put them. And then look at this detail on the interior. You have
Wow.
stunning beams. Yeah. You have the white oak and white cabinets. It's gorgeous in there. The flooring is really pretty throughout, and I don't know what photos you're gonna show me, but there's the kitchen. Oh, I love the
Look
kitchen.
at that view from the kitchen. That is amazing.
It's incredible. You're on Portachima, the north side of that Portachima area there. When you go into the kitchen on that left side, it's got a huge butler's pantry, cafe series, appliances, just all the things. And new construction, you just cannot beat it. So this is the lower level. Look at that stunning wall that they put up.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, it is so cool. And then that lower level, not only does it feature that wall, they've got a wine cellar in back. They have a bar down there. It walks right out to the concrete patio, massive patio lakeside with this huge pool. I don't have the dimensions in front of me, but the pool is it's a gunite pool. Golly, it's big. So it was built for entertaining lakeside. They built the hot tub in as well, so it's in ground, built in. I think that's gunite as well, but it's incredible. It's a stunning home. It's another great one if
Looks like they
you're.
got a little waterfall at the front too. That's always a
Yep.
cool
Yeah.
added feature. And
Yeah.
wow, that's a gorgeous house. I mean, that is how big is that house? Do you think? Is it?
It's I think it's right around 6,000 square feet. Again, I don't have the sheet in front of me, so nobody quote me on that, but I think it's right around 6,000 square feet, and it is cool. It's got some fun hangout areas, media room. The garage doors on the lower open up to another bar, so you can have bar hangout from there out to the patio and the pool. You have a golf cart path that runs all the way around it, so you can be virtually no steps. They made it pretty maintenance free. All those things. Stunning home.
And I can tell you with personal experience, I had a golf cart path on my house at the lake, and it is invaluable. If you put anything in to a
Yeah.
home on the lake that you have a hill, you need a golf cart path because
Yes.
you know what's fun is that after everybody comes and they party for the weekend and you take them on the boat, nobody wants to take the trash up afterwards. So you have to you have to do that by
Yeah.
yourself. And to have a golf cart to throw that stuff in and run it up the hill, I'm telling you, it's priceless.
Yep. I second that. You are correct.
This is 412
Okay.
Howard.
So yes, if now we've got highs to lows here. So if you want to be on the water, you can do it. I think, do you have the sheet in front of you? I think it's under 200,000.
I do not have the price in front of me, but if it's under 200,000, somebody should buy that right now
I
because
know. I
based on
can't.
the numbers you just gave me,
Yeah.
they're
Now,
600,000 below the normal average.
right now I have to look just so I'm quoting you
You know
accurately.
what's cool about this though is, and I tell people this all the time. I mean, we see these big, like you showing them here, a couple, three grand
Mhm.
featured listings that are just they blow. They should be on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous.
Yes.
But
It really should.
let's face it, there's a lot of choices at Lake of the Ozarks, and everybody can have a place at the lake. And that's what I
Yes.
love about this. You go to one of the local bars and you'll see a guy sitting at the bar who has a $5 million home and a $2 million boat next to a guy who's got a $1 million home and a $300,000 boat next to a guy who's got a cabin and a fishing boat. And they're all having fun. And that's the
Yeah.
cool mix of what goes on at Lake of the Ozarks.
Yes, and you can be whoever you want to be, and everybody is on the same playing field because we're all in flip-flops, board shorts, tank tops, and bikinis. So, I mean, we're all the same when you're on the water. So there's no highs and lows, but you hit
But
the
like
nail.
even this home, I mean, look at the
Yeah,
view. I mean,
it
like you said, find the
Beautiful.
lot you like, and you can build anything you want. I mean,
Yeah.
eventually.
Well, and this one's not a home, so I did trick you a little bit. It's 100 and I did look it up. It's 194,000. So you could be on the water for less than 200,000. It's a really small, I don't know if you really consider it a condo. I think they have it marked as a condo, but it's two, I think there are two buildings, and in each building there are two units. So it's like a fourplex.
A fourplex, yeah.
Yeah, and again, you're on the is it Big Niangua? You're on the Little Niangua, the 1 mile marker, the Little Niangua on this, and you have crazy views. The views are stunning. I love boating on the Big and Little Niangua Arms. It's beautiful down there. And so that's where this would be. So you've got good parking. You only have a few neighbors. They're the cutest little units you've ever seen. You go right out there, you can see the community dock. They've got a cool hangout area where you can, hang out, have lunch, sit, watch the fish, whatever, or the boats go by. And again, you're right there on the Niangua, which is great fishing there. They've got the unit highlighted there. So it's just that little fourplex.
But it's a cool. I mean, this is something for everybody, and
It is.
anybody can participate, and you can have your little spot on Lake of the Ozarks, and it doesn't have to cost you $1 million.
Nope.
That's neat, and I love the fact that you guys are, you represent so many different kinds of properties for people, and that's why it's so important that I want all of our, we're up to 30,000 users in the app now. So this message goes out to all 30,000 of them. And I want you guys to understand, if you want an expert at the lake, you have to call Jessica Bruce. You have to call her people and because they have something for everyone. I mean, that's you guys specialize in just something. If I come down and I want to find a place, you guys can find it for me.
Yes.
And I want people to call you. So that I'm going to put your number up. So 573-302-2316, or you can always go to bruceandkelly.com, right? And see all of your listings.
That's right. That's right.
And
well, you remember too, we're not talking peanuts here. Even the Bowers Road, you're on waterfront for 200,000. So again, you've saved enough money to afford a second home at $200,000. That's not, you've done well in life. Just because it's $2 million, you've definitely worked hard, earned hard, and all the things. So go have some fun with that money.
Yeah, and like you pointed out to people, that 200,000 more than likely is going to be worth a bunch of more money when you're done with it. In 10 years, when you're kind of like, okay, well, we've done the lake thing, or maybe we'll look for a different spot. You're gonna be glad you bought now, and you can't wait because the stuff's going up so fast, like you showed us there. And I want to remind everybody that you can always find you guys in the LOZ app. So you can always go, you guys are everywhere over on the app. I can't even go to a page without seeing one of your ads. But,
perfect. You're doing a good job.
But we're so happy to have you on today. And I just think, you gave such a good perspective on what people need to look for and some of the things and I think the biggest message that I take out of this podcast is, don't sit on the sidelines and wait too long. Make sure you're doing your due diligence, find what you like. But if you do, buy it.
Yes. Yeah. Nope. You've got it. And you said it perfectly. So don't wait. Buy the lake house. It's a freaking blast. You will thank me. I promise you will. So
Jessica, thanks so much for joining us. And we're going to have you on later on the summer. We'll follow up with you. And I like your numbers. So we'll ask you to bring some more numbers on next time. And you can share some.
Down for that. Perfect.
Thanks so much.
I love to talk. So happy.
All right, everybody. That's another episode of Coves and Keys with Jessica Bruce. We will see you again next week with a new guest. But thank you, Jessica, for all your time, and we appreciate you.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.